Yo, welcome back to another episode of Noob the Pro. The main goal of this episode is doing Worldlines and going through the floors. I'm planning, or I am hoping, that I can get to 450. I did get these units evolved last episode and I did say I will showcase them slightly to see what they're like together. Do really just want to get into Worldlines, so without further ado, let's start. So we are starting Worldlines at floor 6 because previously at the start of the Noob the Pro I did get to floor 5 so I can get that 50k gold to help me evolve my units initially. Getting to floor 50 in Worldlines shouldn't be too hard, it will just take a long time. If I am playing around the buff that is available for each stage, this should be fairly trivial. It will just get a bit slower in the later stages. Alright, I am at floor 16. This is the first floor I believe that has the weather type Infinite Tsukiyomi. This weather type is unique in the fact that the only units that can be placed are farms and unbound units. The only unbound unit I have on this account is Lancer. He should be good enough to be able to complete it by himself, but if I am struggling, I do have Berserker that I could evolve and try use her as well. People tend to struggle with this weather type in particular just because it is restricted to only using unbound units. So for these Infinite Tsukiyomi floors, whenever I encounter them, I will be doing a full time lapse in hopes that if you are struggling on these floors, you can probably copy what I'm doing and hopefully beat it too. Alright, that is 416 done. Now this one is the easiest, being it is only 416, so the health is not that high, but there are ones that I believe one that people struggle with is floor 38. I think that's the next time Infinite Tsukiyomi pops up, so I'll be back when that is here. Okay, we are on floor 38. Now this is one that people struggle with, not just because it is Infinite Tsukiyomi, it's the fact that this is the Act 6 version of this double dungeon stage. You also need to destroy the statues with only using unbound units. So let's see if I am able to do this. If not, I will definitely need to go ahead and evolve my Berserker. Okay, that is 438 completed. So I got my farms out first, and then once I had enough money, which is around wave 3, as enemies are getting to this point, I placed down my Lancer, so they kill, and I just farm until Lancer starts to leak. I then start upgrading him ever so slightly, just so he stops leaking again. If there is more than 2 enemies that leak, just kill off enough enemies that it wouldn't fully kill you, because each enemy that goes through only removes 1 stock of life. If it's a boss, it does 3. And then after that, around, I think it's wave 14 is when the statues appear, so that's when you will go and place your extra lances that you have down. You can upgrade to 2, which just gives more damage. There's or you could just place them down, but I think upgrading to 2 makes it just a lot faster. Probably could have maybe placed my lancer in this kind of circle part here, making it just kind of a better coverage than where I had placed it now, but that was pretty easy with just lancer alone. If you have any extra unbound units, then that'll be helpful too, but I would highly recommend using as little placements as possible, because the more your units attack, the faster they're going to get. So you want to try to hold out as long as possible with only a single unit, because then the enemy's movement speed isn't going to significantly increase a lot. These floors are very simple if you have an Alucard, which is very rare to get, but if you do have them, it makes these floors very easy, pretty trivial. Lancer actually was very good too. He has a lot of damage as well. Oh yeah, one last thing. You do want to place down your unit as soon as possible, basically, outside of like placing down your farms, because of the extra part here. When your units gain 3% range and damage per wave, it's not a huge amount, it's only 30% at most, but 30% extra damage is 30% extra damage, am I right? Anyway, hopefully if you were struggling with this floor, all you really need is a lancer and you should be able to do it fine. I have him Z plus damage, Z plus range, S, SPA, and I have 1 ascension, which is 3% extra damage. But yeah, this is kind of just me going on a little tangent about what to do for Infinite Tsukiyomi floors. But yeah, hope that helps anyone who was struggling with this floor. Anyway, back to the grind. Alright, floor 49 was pretty tough. I got pretty close to the end. Yeah, sorcery as a boss in these higher tiers is kind of a pain. I cannot believe that I've actually done this. Traitless Worldlines to floor 50. There we go, there is the frozen domain. The portal that gets us is death. I will be going ahead and doing this now. Okay, we have acquired the frozen domain. It is a tier 5 portal, it should be very easy. I'm just gonna go on with the team that I already have equipped. I probably won't even be using Diego. I just have him in my party. I've not even changed since completing my Worldlines. Ooh, it actually feels kind of good having gotten this. This is kind of a proud moment. I have just completed this portal. The big question is she shiny? No, she's not shiny. But there we go, we have Isdef now on our account. This is a crazy moment. Let's see what I need to evolve her. So I do need 1,000 takedowns to evolve her. Do I have any trait rerolls? I have a lot of trait rerolls. I'm going to spam a bunch on her. An S. Alright, I'll keep an S for now. I have a Z range. Oh, I have a godly range as well. I forgot. Okay. No, I got a Z range. I have already got a godly range. Oh, a Z plus. Come on, SPA. Another Z range. Okay, rolling some stats. I ended up getting a Z plus damage on her in a Z range. I did not get anything else that is good outside of an S SPA, so we'll be transferring that onto her. I do have that godly range still, but I don't think I'm going to use it. Only reason why is because I already have a Z range on her. I feel like it's a bit of a waste to remove that Z range. Getting Z to Z plus stats are quite rare, so I don't want to willingly throw things away. Plus I have so many range. I have 2 Z ranges and I've got a godly range. When it comes to me stat rolling, I always find I get Z ranges a lot. Alright, let me go ahead and get the kills on her and then I will be back. Alright, so I just finished my infinite and I did get the 1,000 kills on her that are required to evolve Isdeath. So I'll be going ahead and doing that now. There we go. Isdeath Romantic has been evolved. Z plus, Z, Z plus. Very nice. She is only level 1, so I do need to level her up. That is probably going to be for another time because it is currently 2:40 AM. Alright, it has been a little while. I have now got level 60 on my Isdeath. I also have got level 60 on Kareem. I'm going to very briefly go over these units just as a general thing. I don't want this to be too long because showcasing some units can take a while. So on placement, she has 10.6k damage, which is actually nuts. Every time she attacks and hits an enemy, she gains up to 45 damage and 30% range, and this resets after every attack. She also inflicts freeze. Once you get her to upgrade 6, she unlocks her ability, which is a time stop for 10 seconds. During this time stop, it also allows enemies to take increased damage from passion and water towers. Also 100% more damage from allied towers that are marked with affection. What affection is on placement, a single allied tower within range gets the affection mark, cannot mark farms. So what this does is if Esdef is attacking the same tower that the tower with the affection mark has, this will make it so that Esdef does 50% more damage on that attack. Getting her to upgrade 7 gives her a cone. This is her last multi-hit attack that she'd have, so if you're worrying about shields or anything, I'd recommend just staying at upgrade 9 before you get to Ice Meteor. Once you get her to her last attack, she becomes a large AoE that is a single hit, and that is pretty much Esdef. She has 40k damage from being max buffed by herself. She does do a lot more damage, it is just hidden within her passive. This 50%, it's not shown, but it will be doing more damage, so there's that. Also, whenever she does freeze enemies with her ability, she'll decrease her SPA by 2% up to 30% for 40 seconds. So that is another way to increase her DPS for a little bit. I will chuck on visual effects to show you her final attack, because I mean most of the time I'm playing without visual effects. As you can see, it is pretty large. This is her time stop as well. One other thing to note with her, I don't know if there's any visual buff on any towers that show which tower is marked with the affection, so unless they add that later on and just don't have it currently, I'm not too sure. It might be that way. Quickly moving on to the next units I want to show off, it is Karim and Sarsari together. So Sarsari has 50% dodge, he reduces his SPA by 4% every time he does dodge down to 20%, and he inflicts burn once you get him to upgrade 7. He has a 1/3 cone, which is a very good range. This allows him to inflict burn all the time, practically. I've set him on close, so he's always going to be at this angle. Kareem, what he does is he removes burn off enemies, freezes the enemies and replaces it with his own dot, as you can see by the blue flame. This is 50% of his own damage for 7 seconds. When the frost burn is active on an enemy, another burn dot can be applied to that enemy as well, so it can stack. He only has 2 attacks. It's a small line into a thick line, but once you get him to upgrade 8, if there is enough burning enemies within range, he becomes full AoE. When he is in his full AoE form, he does gain 30% damage and also 10% range, and that is pretty much both these units. They do decent damage, they work well together. This is what I like. I kind of wish there is a better burn unit. I feel like Sarsari probably is currently the best, just based on how easy it is to ignite many people at once. So that is the quick showcase that I will be doing for these units. Now before I end off this video, this is the cosmetic for Esdef. One other thing I do want to showcase is the trait rerolls that I currently have obtained so far while playing this account. I'm at 566 trait rerolls. This is pretty good for being free to play. We are getting a lot. It has been really fun playing this account Traitless. It's quite refreshing. Playing this account, there definitely has been some sort of difficulties with certain stages, but that is to be expected when I'm not running traits. I do like the challenge that comes with it though. I think it's great. Next up on the plate is going for either Ragnar Portal or just preparing for 4.0 update, which should be very soon. I am prepared with 63,000 gems, and I feel like I do have a decent amount of essences. I am low on a couple of these, but all I need to do is dismantle some rainbow essences and I can just craft up some more essences of these. I do run my challenges still. It's not like I skip on them. One thing I do need to do is grind some more infinite to get food for the update, so that is pretty much it. I appreciate it if you have made it this far through the video. See ya.